Hey guys, it's your boy MKS here, back here again with another video, obviously part 3 of what I think Italian football, the league and the national team and Celtic should ask for from all those involved in the club, such as fans, /supporters, owners, /investors, sponsors and so forth. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed part 1 and 2. If you haven't already checked those out, please check them out, and I appreciate any sharing of the video and likes. I think there was something I was going to say, but I completely forgot. But anyway, I'm going to try and move on with this list, and hopefully it'll be fairly entertaining at least, and hopefully people out there will enjoy it. As ever, I welcome any comments, and I'll try not to make the video too long. So here goes. Hopefully I'll remember that chain of thought. Something I was going to say, but I forgot. Anyway, number 21, I hope they will bring back, to ask for fans and supporters and people to work together to bring back the pride in Italian football. And I talked about it before, I was thinking whatever video I make for Italian football, I could probably make something similar for Celtic, but there are some areas where it would be different, like Serie A is an entire league, whereas Celtic is just one team in Scotland. So there are a few differences, and also Celtic at the moment are doing much better, and Italian football is trying to get back to where it was before. So it's gone downhill a bit, but Celtic is doing a lot better than it was before. So in a way, there are some sort of differences. So I think 21 would mainly apply to Italian football or Serie A to bring back those glory days, whereas Celtic hopefully is to continue this great run and hopefully win more trophies, obviously. But the main thing is obviously to deliver as many trophies as possible and to make the club as proud as possible. And again, as a recap, another idea I talked about, which I hope Celtic and as many Serie A teams as possible to play Celtic, and Celtic do tours of Italy and play Serie A teams as much as possible, and as often as they can do in the future, obviously with busy schedules and league, obviously. It's supposed to benefit them, so hopefully it won't be at times where Celtic obviously have to keep players rested and fit and that sort of thing. So, or Serie A obviously as well. So, anyway, but at times where they have a bit of a break, they could on their pre-season tours or whatever, they could go to Italy. That could be one of the countries, as well as Ireland and France and parts of Asia as well, and that sort of thing. But I hope there'll be a great partnership between Celtic and Italy, fans play football together and train each other and all that. And again, some of the older people to train some of the younger people generally, and that sort of thing. Number 22, I hope for people with new and innovative ideas to come in and spawn managers. When an Italian team appoints a manager, and possibly even Celtic in the future, maybe if Neil Lennon's going to be replaced, I think it should be with a manager who's got a new vision as well, and it can adapt to the modern game as well. And that sort of thing. 23, sponsors like to invest as much as they can, spaces for sport and places for sport and things like that, and ideas they can get from other countries, and having football pitches, and maybe even academies around the world, and also playing football with people from the diaspora, or having football pitches where, in America or other part outside of Italy, so they can practice as well and train with other people and all that sort of thing. And if Italian clubs have, and as well as Celtic have, academies in parts of Asia, they could also have exchanges where they practice with each other and all that sort of stuff. But I hope to have as much investment into Italian football as possible. And I talked before about how I love Italy to be a multi-trillion pound. In my imagination, I thought, imagine if Italian football was worth trillions or something like that. So something ridiculous like that. But I think they should also do lots of good for charity as well, for people in Africa and Asia, and also hopefully that will expand the brand as well. But yeah, so as much investment as possible, and new owners, and what they're going to invest in the club, what they're going to invest in youth infrastructure, football pitches, and also as well as owners, it could be sponsors, as I say, maybe Lucasade, Red Bull, Coca-Cola and all that, and each one could talk about how much they've invested into Italian football in the future. That's what I hope, that's my vision. So it could be as I say, places for sport, spaces for sport, each bottle or each can you buy will pay for this amount, will contribute this amount to land or something. They'll contribute 10% or whatever of the sale price, or 10% of the profits they make from that area towards developing football pitches, training facilities, and all that sort of stuff, and giving people footballs. And I'd love everyone in Italy to have whatever equipment they need to become the best footballers they can be. And also politicians, again, from Celtic and Italy. Like, I hope for Celtic and Italian football to pay the least amount of taxes possible legally, keyword being legally, and like get goods. Possibly another group could be like solicitors and lawyers and people like that, and legal experts and all that, talking about how they can cut back on their taxes and do more sort of charitable work, or like if they could be like sponsored football academies in Asia. Possibly they could get tax losses, like Celtic could get tax losses if they invest in academies in Asia, to help Asia to do a lot for charity. And also, as Celtic was founded as a charity for local Irish Catholics who are struggling, so I'd love them to pay the least amount of tax possible. And also, like, that money they save in tax could be used to buy football academies in Scotland, so in Glasgow, so that, or even across Scotland, but especially in Glasgow, where it's a deprived area, deprived city. So in many cases, so like local people could have something to do, get them out of trouble, and it could help cut crime, cut problems to do with drinking, smoking, and all those such things, and help the healthcare system in Glasgow. So instead of, like, I'd love them to pay be able to pay less tax, but if they fund academies, like 5-a-side pitches, 6-a-side pitches, 11-a-side pitches, indoor, outdoor, and all over the place, like. So local people, local Celtic fans can benefit as well, especially, and also, like I say, in Asia and places like that, building academies and giving people football equipment and things like that. So to pay the lowest amount of tax, and I'd love them to also get like funding from politicians and from as it does so much charitable work, and also and lottery funding, and possibly even governmental funding anyway, with maybe like. So they break even with the taxpayer, or even be better off because of what charitable work they do to invest in the area. So that would benefit Glasgow generally. And in Italian football, again, I'd love them to have the lowest possible taxes. So it encourages overseas owners to come and buy up Italian football clubs and invest in them, and invest in young players and improving them and getting them out of trouble again and getting them fit. Doing activities so they're not. So hopefully that will benefit the healthcare system and cut crime as much as possible, and to have as little crime as possible in Italy, and also in like Glasgow and Celtic as well. For Celtic, at number 24, I hope that like clubs will contribute to the national team in terms of what the national team can ask for is like clubs to develop the most young players for, so they can play for the national team in the future. Always to play 3 under 21 players. That could be like a return for the tax deal, like to pay zero tax. They always have to play 3 under 21 players. So any club that does that would have to pay no tax, and like so overseas owners can come and buy those clubs and have this crazy imagination, like China and India working together, and also like the Chinese and Indian government investing in Italian football and Celtic. I know that's like another mad dream of mine, but I mean, like Qatar, effectively people say Qatar owns Man City, so. And Saudi Arabia pretty much will probably own Newcastle. So it would be interesting if like the Chinese and Indian government came together and like formed a Chindian partnership and owned Italian football and Celtic, but invested so much in the clubs and all that. So as ever, I'd love to know what you think about these sorts of ideas. And 25, again, hope for like Italian football and Celtic to have like diplomacy and build positive connections with as much of the rest of the world as possible, and like train with them, practice like Italian and football of Italy and France to have better relations through football, and Italy and Ireland as well, and basically all 4 of those groups: Italy, Ireland, Celtic, and France, to play football together and practice together and that sort of thing. So I hope to improve relations between all of those. Like Celtic already have the Irish connection, and Ireland, France, and Italy all have the tricolor. 26, I hope for Italy, as I say, to fundraise for parts of Asia and Africa, and possibly to maybe reparate some of those countries that colonized through football, like fundraise, like Serie A, or could have fundraising games, and also like record fundraising charity matches and penalty shootouts and things like that. All sorts of events on YouTube, and like any money raised could go to countries that Italy colonized, and Italy go to tour those countries and play football. So the goal would be that Italians benefit by getting to practice more football, but those countries benefit through more tourism. Again, that's another one of my quirky ideas. Number 27, I hope for Italian football and against Celtic to honour those that have represented the club in the most positive way, and have like honours of the best representatives or best goal scorers, best defenders, best whatever, whoever's contributed anyway. 28, I hope for Celtic also to do like tours of, and Italy perhaps to do tours of like colonised countries, like to help them. And in Celtic's case, like countries that are colonised by the UK, because Celtic are like mostly Irish immigrants, so traditionally or originally. So with that connection, it would be great if they could go and tour countries like India or China, and like going to tour those countries and helping people in orphanages and slums and places like that would be like some way to make up for Britain colonising those countries. And also that obviously do tours of Ireland as well, which they already do, but hopefully they'll do more of those tours, and it will benefit Ireland but also Celtic as a football club, but Ireland as a economically as well. 29, I hope for my fellow Anglo-Indians and dyslexics to contribute to Italian football and Celtic in a positive way, and to get to play football with Italians and with Celtic fans and with Celtic players as well, perhaps, possibly. And I play football at Celtic Park and things like that. And number 30, and also I've also thought of like an idea about it's a top secret idea which I have to put on paper and share with some people who I trust, but I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on YouTube, for Disney to have like all I'll say is it would be a football related theme park, but it's a business, like a sort of business idea I have, but not to profit from myself, but to, like, not financially anyway, but it would benefit Disney and Italian football and possibly Celtic as well. Anyway, I hope that all made sense, and sorry if the video was a bit long again, and I'm going to stop before I get to 13 minutes because I think that would be a bit unlucky. So peace and love.